Okay, one of the things that's really important in any kind of approach to understanding musical cultures and how music lives in culture is thinking about the tools that you have in order to approach that music. There are as many genres really as there are people of music. But for popular music culture, that's traditionally been approached in terms of analysis and cultural policy and real world work on the topic from within sociology and within musicology, of course, as well. And now increasingly also popular musics are being approached from ethnomusicology too, which is the study of people making music from anywhere around the world. So those different approaches are historically have entanglements and crossovers, and there is a thing called popular music studies today, which is a distinct approach to understanding musics. Certainly that's my view of what popular music studies is. And all of these different approaches and disciplines have their own specialisms and their own vocabulary. If you think about them in terms, one useful way I've thought about thinking about these things is in relationship to their methodology, their focus, their perspectives that they draw out when you're looking at a culture. They have a kind of disciplinary tradition about how they understand musical sound. The commodification of musics or the commercialization of them, which sorts of musics do they look at, and how do they view the process of commercialization and commodification. There's also the ways in which these disciplinary subjects and approaches are disseminated to the public and to other scholars of music. And then also there's the cultural areas or the cultural groups which they're usually focused upon. So if we just take for a second, very quickly, popular music studies, you can think of that, for instance, as deeply embedded in the political and the cultural analysis of music. So it grew out of a position that was strongly embedded in Marxist theory and political theory, and often recorded sound as well was implicated. There's less of an emphasis by some scholars on recorded sound, and other people tend to focus much more on recorded sound. But it's always cultural, and it's always focused in and around understanding popular music culture. That is to say, music which is mass mediated and ubiquitous in society. If you take cultural sociology, that's always been led by a people-focused scholarship, focused on issues about how the whole of society uses and understands music. Ethnomusicology has traditionally been focused on very small ethnographic understandings of a particular music. And you see that also in the ways in which and how music is understood in these different disciplines. Popular music studies, in my view, understands music both as an object but also as a social process. Music sociology or cultural sociology tends to understand music in society as something that is participated in and understood day to day. Ethnomusicology again views music as a living culture, and in some aspects the musicological approaches, particularly some of the older approaches, tended to view music as an object, as something which could be understood in and of itself. So there are these different approaches, as I say, methods, focus, perspectives, commercialization, commodification, and outputs, how these things are output and disseminated, and where these different disciplines focus on. And in this course, the approach that we're largely going to be taking is drawn from popular music studies and cultural sociology.